Hi everybody, I'm Evelyn Waiwaioli, the director of NYSOD, and welcome to another NYSOD Vodcast. These are really just informal conversations with leaders and practitioners in the higher education world, just coming to tell us their story about what's working on their college campus. Today I'm joined by Brenda Faulkner, the Student Success Program Director, and Diane Rodriguez, the Student Success Coordinator at Tarleton State University, and we are looking forward to hearing their story. I first met these ladies when we were at a Student Success seminar that was solely focused on entering students. And around the room, people were going around talking about what they were doing to help entering students as they came onto their college campuses. And their story really left a lasting impression. What they decided to do on their college campus was focus on staff. And you may be asking, why staff? Well, they're going to tell you why. Why don't we start there? Tell us why you decided to focus on staff. Why start there and not start with faculty? That's where most people start. Or why not start with some new policies from administration? Why focus on staff? By the way, welcome. Thanks for being here.
Thanks for having us.
Thank you.
I think between the two of us, we have almost 40 years experience at Tarleton State University. And we both started out as staff working. I have to tell you, I had to take a typing test. It took me 6 times to pass it because it was an IBM Selectric. I'd just taken a keyboarding test at American Airlines and got 105 keystrokes. Couldn't get a 55 word. So started out as staff secretary, making $10,000 a year. And so my heart has always been with staff that's on the front line with the students.
What about you, Diane?
Well, I started off being a clerk and making less than she was, probably about $900 a month, maybe even less than that, and was a clerk and support staff, and working with the students wasn't really something I worked very much with because I was in one of the vice president's offices, but then later on got into student success and was able to work with students and with Brenda.
Great, and now
you're
you're the program director for student success and you're the coordinator, and you decided to do something innovative and focus on staff. Tell us what you did.
Well, what we were seeing was the students who come on campus, particularly we work with at-risk students who don't meet admission criteria, so they take a lot of extra support. Not that the usual regular student doesn't need a lot of support, but we were seeing that we were making lots of phone calls to staff, trying to get them in classes, trying to get overrides. And because we were having so much interaction with staff and we felt so obligated to them because they were helping our students out, we decided to we started in 2008, and we were working through orientation. The kids were really challenging and to get into the courses, and so we took sandwiches for lunch to everybody in the admissions department. And they were so thankful, so grateful that the phone calls that we had subsequent to that, they just responded quicker. They were able to help, and you were able to put a name with a face. So it really worked out well. And so then we continued it in the next spring.
And so then what happened after that?
Well, basically working with the staff, having that first luncheon with the staff, they were responding well to helping us. The students were able to connect names. We were given names to the secretaries or support staff saying, you know, Christina will be coming to your office, they need an override or they need this, and okay, fine, we'll take care of them. And the students were just, you know, more comfortable going into those offices. They were intimidated before because they didn't want to go into an office. They didn't know who to talk to and they weren't really sure, and so they were very open to help the students and support them and get them in those classes or get them to talk to those instructors to help them get into the classes they couldn't get into otherwise. And they just responded well to the students, and they helped us every time we could give them a call. I want to mention Jeannie is one of the girls that we talk to very frequently, and she gives us the heads up whenever there are some openings in classes and tells us, you know, gives us those insights that not everyone gets. Sure. Maybe the advisors don't know about those things, but we find out ahead of time, and so we have that connection, and they give us those calls and help us all the time.
You've talked a lot about them giving you calls. What kind of training do you give them? Because oftentimes the staff can oftentimes be the very first person a student interacts with. they're the person at the desk.
Absolutely. I'm sorry, but that's exactly what we found, is that the students kind of wander around aimlessly. They're looking for their faculty member, they're looking for their faculty office. We have a huge enrollment, a huge increase in enrollment at Tarleton, 19% last fall. And so many of our faculty members are adjunct. They don't have offices. Where do you go? What do you do? And those students were there. So we get with them and we let them know exactly how we're going to do our scheduling for our classes and our block classes, and what we're really needing from the students, and what classes that they're in, so that they really have, like Diane said, they have a advance warning on when the students are coming and what particular issues and concerns that they have, either with the faculty member, with the class. Maybe they don't have textbooks and the department has privy to some textbooks or access codes or something like that. So keeping them informed about what the students are doing. Very, very rarely do staff, they understand what the faculty's doing and they understand what the students should be doing, but they're kind of left in a void.
Yeah,
and so we really try to let them know what's going on with the students, what's going on with our programs, and how the students are navigating not only their department's academic areas, but the campus as a whole.
Do you do that formally, or is that an informal process? You said you make sure that they know what the student's doing. How do you transmit that information?
Well, that's how we kind of came around to having the luncheons for them in the first place.
Okay.
And to bring them to lunch and just let them have a time period to where they could sit down, relax, and then while they were eating their lunch, we would let them know about what was going on with learning communities, what was going on with our
Transition programs. Yeah.
Go ahead.
Yeah, our gateway programs, we have the students that are in our gateway programs, which are the bridge programs that we have at Tarleton, and the issues that we have with them getting in classes, and sometimes they're full. And as we work through the summer, getting those kids registered for classes, they fill up.
Sure.
At the very beginning of the orientation, so you get past 2 or 3 orientations and the classes are full, so that's where we get that connection, and they know what we're going through, what we need to get for those students to get them into the classes. If they're general requirement classes, a lot of those fill up right away during orientation. So there's a trouble getting those schedules built together, and so they help us get those classes, and they know what our needs are for the students.
So if I'm watching this vodcast, I might be thinking, this is a great idea, but give me some specifics. How many staff are you having for lunch?
Around about 40 staff members. That's the support staff, the administrative assistants that are in the department, the academic areas.
Okay.
And they attended it well. And
is it once a year?
We did it once a year, and this last year we had a high tea that wasn't as successful, because whenever you offer a meal, it's easier for them to get off for lunch. Though if we have it in the afternoon, and if there's other things that they're invited to during the afternoon, they can't get away for the afternoon things. And so lunch is a lot more successful as far as attendance.
Food always works, doesn't it?
Yes, it always does. And with the budgets, the pay raises aren't as great as they can be, and having a free lunch, they're going to come. You have food, they come.
Is it an hour in length, an hour and a half?
Hour and a half.
Hour to an hour and a half. We always understand that they've got time schedules. The high tea this year was kind of inspired by the royal wedding.
Okay.
And just to do something a little bit different while trying to cut our budget on what we did.
Sure.
And really there wasn't a lot of difference. The expense is the dining services works with us. The expense is about $500 or less, and we did partner this year with Residential Living and Learning because we worked together building the learning community courses with them. So finding partners on campus, which is as important as finding for partners within an organization, or like NISOD, having y'all have so many
Sure.
different partners here, that it just kind of helps with expenses, but we're still able to provide the opportunity to let them know what we're doing. And this year we provided each one of the staff members with our new first year experience reader that all the students are going to be reading, because we felt like if they had the reader out and we're reading it, and that would give them a connection to one more connection to the students as well.
So let me make sure I understand the model. You invite your staff that are in the academic area, there's about 40 of them, to lunch. There's a program that's for about an hour and a half, the luncheon. There's a program where you try to just inform them so that when a student asks them questions, they're prepared. And if they don't know the answer to the question, there's probably a list of referenced phone numbers, emails where they can turn and go get the information, or at least know where to send the student. You do it once a year. You partner the lunch, because I'm sure many out there are wondering, how much is this costing them? It's about $500. Did I get that right?
That's right.
Talk to us, one last question. Talk to us about the feedback that you've gathered from the staff, and then did you get any feedback from students? How about that?
The students, they are just amazed that I always tell them that let's see what kind of magic I can do for you. Okay. And so, we get the schedules, and at first it's challenging to get the schedule together if there's not any classes open. Let me call Miss Jeannie or whoever, and I get them on the phone. Let's see what kind of magic, what kind of connections we have. And we have those connections, and they help us. And the students are just like, oh my gosh, that was so easy. I'm so glad I came into your office. And they want to come back to see us, because we're very helpful, and we get them results.
And the staff, we haven't had much feedback from faculty, because I really don't know that they know what's going on unless it's the department head. And we know that the department head administrative assistants run interference. Many times they were the ones that were signing the overrides, they were signing the drop slips, they were signing everything. But the faculty members that we've had contact with, it does appear to be magic, because we have reached out and we've just given them a little bit of food, a little bit of encouragement, something sweet, which was what the tea was, but just to let them know how much we appreciate them and what they do when in the course of everyday events. It seems to rush by very quickly, and we don't get a chance. It was even this spring, all of the administrators the administrative assistants got together and bought roses for the administrators to buy to their administrative staff so they could be recognized during, support week. And but it's just not the same if you have to goad somebody to give you some recognition. So.
Well, and they feel valued. They feel a part of the team, and most importantly, feel a part of the solution for students.
Yes.
Diane and Brenda, thanks so much for being with us. To all of our viewers out there, I hope you thought this idea was valuable, and most importantly, something perhaps that you could do back at home. Equip and empower your staff to be informed so that your students truly can succeed. Thanks for viewing. We'll hope you'll come back and join us again. Bye-bye, everybody.